everyone, and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you all for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you for your love and for your support. Okay guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a dress with a high-low hem. So you can see the pictures up here. So why I said pictures, I'm showing you two different pictures of this dress. So the emphasis of this video is the high-low hem on the down part. So you can decide to use any pattern of your choice. You can decide to use a flare pattern to make it. You can decide to use an A-line pattern to make it. You can decide to use a straight gown pattern to make it. But the idea, emphasis of the tutorial, please note, is the high-low hem on the down part of the dress. So that is what we are going to be doing. So for mine, I'm going to be making use of an A-line pattern to make this dress. So I don't really want it to be straight and I don't want it to be too flared, but I'm just using these two pictures on the thumbnail to give you an idea of what we are going to be making. So I hope you understand. Okay, so if you are new to the channel, you are highly and very welcome. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Hit on the bell and then hit on the hit on the red button, the subscribe button, and then hit on the bell also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. So that's just like basically the essence of hitting on that bell. Okay, you can see my number scrolling through the screen. Also, if you want to register for our online classes, just send me a message on WhatsApp and then I'll give you the details of the classes that are available. Okay, so now let's get started. The fabric that I have a plain fabric and then I have an Ankara fabric. So this Ankara I'm going to be using for the down part of my dress, and then this is going to be my actual bodice. This plain fabric here is 3 yards, and then my Ankara fabric that I have here is about 1.5 yards. So I might not consume all of the fabric, so we'll just walk along. The measurement that I'm going to be using, the bust measurement is 36 inches and then the waist is 32 inches. So these are just like the major measurement that I'm going to be making use of. So let's get started. Okay, so I finished cutting out the fabric that I'm going to use for my gathers at the down. So you can decide to do gathers, you can do pleats. So I cut out, so if you see, notice I have three fabrics of 45 inches. That's the width is 45 and then the length is 12 inches because I'm going to use about 1 inches inside. So I'll go ahead and I'll go and join them together and then create out the pleats, and then I'll show you how to put the whole dress together. Guys, so I finished creating my pleats. So you can decide to create whichever one, either pleats or gathers. So I've created my, so I did it, I just folded my, because I wanted this to be on top, I'm going to make it on the top stitch. So I just folded it in. So as I was pleating it, I folded in the mouth and then that's the edges rather. And then I started pleating it, the mouth. I started pleating it. So now we're going to start stitching. Okay, so I started, so the back pieces, you just join your back piece back together on your zipper allowance part. And then for the front piece, I'm going to join the front piece on the side. So I'm not joining them on the center yet. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll join this on the side and then join the other side while the center is still going to be open. Okay guys, so I'm going to do a little bit of explanation before we continue. So this is I just made like a little pattern to give you an understanding. So the full length of our dress, from the shoulder to the hem of our pleat, is 39 inches. 39 inches, that's this part. So this top part, because it is divided into two parts, this top part, I'm going to make this part 30 inches. This part is going to be 30 inches, while this part is going to be 9 inches. So when you join them together, it's going to be 39 inches. So this is like the majority part of the dress, that's the length. While the longest part of the dress, which is going to be just a piece, that's like a quarter of the dress, is going to be 36 inches. It's going to be 36 inches. So the difference, that part that is going to be long, is going to just be the 6 inches difference. So when I'm cutting out my pattern, I'm going to cut out my pattern like this. I'm going to have two patterns like this. If you notice, you can see this one is 30 inches, this one is 30 inches, and then this one is 36 inches. This is 36 inches, this is 30 inches. So this is like the actual one. Why this one is going to be the longer one. So I'm going to just use this piece of paper to explain it. So this piece is going to be my back piece, that's this part. And then this part is going to be my long piece, which is for the front. So what I'm going to do for the front, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out a piece like this. So this, you can decide to do this on a pattern paper before transferring to your fabric if you don't want to waste a quarter of your fabric. So here is what we are going to have. So this part is going to go off like this. So if you notice what we have now, three parts of the dress is the same size. So it is only one part that is long. You understand? So the other parts, the other three parts, that's one, two, three parts, they are the same. So this is the back, and then the part of the front is the same length with the back, and then this is just like the extra one that we're adding. So this extra, I'm using 6 inches for this extra. So you can use any number that you want, but at the end of the day, my dress is going to be 36 inches, while this longer part is going to be 45 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'll cut this, everything that I just explained now, I'll cut it on my fabric. So I'll go ahead, I'll cut out the back, which is this short one, and then I'll cut out the front, and then I'll show you how to take this off before we go and start. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now. So I'll explain to you. So for mine, I don't want my zip to be in the front. So my zipper is going to be at the back of my dress. So I'm going to add zipper allowance to it. And then you know that this front piece, we're still going to cut it open. So I'm going to still add that allowance. So definitely, so literally what I'm trying to say is that the back and the front, I'm going to add the same amount of allowance to it. So I'm going to cut them the same. So with that, I'm going to add an extra 1 inch to my shoulder measurement to create space for that allowance. You can do 2 inches, depends on what you want. So my shoulder measurement is 7 inches, which is 14 when you divide into two. So I'm going to add that extra stitching allowance that I'm going to use to hold the front and for the zip, which is 1 inch, and then I'll add half of an inch for my stitching allowance. So from this point, I'm just going to create my shoulder slope. I'll just float it into the shoulder line, and then from this point now, I'll go ahead, I'll measure my 30 inches for the full length, just like I explained. This one is the one that has the full length. I'll just go ahead, I'll measure it, I'll mark it round because my fabric is folded at an angle. Like I said, I want some and like an A-line pattern. So I'll go ahead now, cut it out. So before I cut it out, I'm just going to add that extra 6 inches to it. I just thought of it, it will be easier for me. So I'll just add the extra 6 inches. So I have 36 inches now here. I'll just mark it round. So I have my 36 inches. So I'll go ahead now, cut it out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add my neckline. So since I'm cutting the back and the front the same, I'll just go ahead. I'll use, remember our 1 inch here, you put that into consideration. I'm going to use 3.5 inches for my neckline width. This is 3.5 inches. And then for the depth of the front neckline, I'm going to use 3.5 inches. So that's 3.5, 3.5. So this is the for the front neckline. I'll just go ahead like this. I'll create a curve. So for the back neckline, it's going to be a little bit high. So I'll use 1.5. So this is 1.5. I'll use this for my back neck line. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this to cut out the back piece. Okay, so I've cut out the back piece. So the next thing, I'm going to cut out the front piece, just like I explained to you. I'll cut out the neckline, and then I'm going to open up my piece in front. just like I explained. So this is my front piece. So this other part, I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to mark it just like I explained. It's going to be the same size with the back piece. So I'll cut it. And then this is the longer part of my dress. So you can see how it is looking. So we'll go over to the machine now. Let's go and start stitching. So with that, you will understand it more as we work on the table. Okay, so I finished stitching, joining the side like I said. You join it on the shoulder and then join the side just like I explained. So the next thing now, so this is my pleat. So I've already explained it to you how I made my own pleat. So we're going to start stitching. If you notice what I did here on this side, I this the longer part, I just left a piece of it. So I'm going to start attaching my pleat from this long side. That's from, sorry, from the shorter part. That's where I'm going to start attaching. So since I made this kind of pleat or gathers, I'm going to be doing a top stitch. So for this, for the down part, I'm going to use an overlock when I'm done. So if you are not using an overlock, you can just fold it and then before attaching this. So for this one, I'm going to take it like this. On this part, I'm going to start doing a top stitch. So note what I'm going to do. My top stitch, I'm going to follow the same threads that I used earlier. I'm just going to top stitch it on the edge like this. I'll top stitch it. So as I go along, I'm going to be opening it because so it will not be too. So once I get to the ending part of the short one, I'm going to stop and then I'll cut it, because if you don't cut it, there's no way for you to go. So I'll cut it here. I'm going to go ahead, I'll cut it here. So I'll go and do that and then bring it back and show you. So after cutting this, the remaining part, this other one, I'm going to attach it on the longer part from this point to this point. So I'll go ahead, I'll do that and then I'll show you how it is looking like. Okay guys, so you can see, I finished joining it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just for me to join the side of my dress. So I'm going to go ahead, this part I'm going to join it to the hem, and then this extra part I'm going to fold it inward like this. So I'll turn it for you to see. So I had to join my Ankara together. So you join this part to this part, that's the hem, the side hem, you join it, and then this part you fold this part. Make sure you fold, since it does not have a lining, you fold it down for that. And then for this other side also, for this side, I'm going to go ahead and join my, on the center piece, I'm going to join it from the inside. So after joining it from the inside, I'll join it to this point like this. So I'm going to have this as extra. So this extra one also, I'm going to fold it inside and then fold the down part of the dress. So and then for my neckline, I'm just going to use my Ankara to turn out the neckline. So for the arm for the sleeves, I'm not going to be making the sleeve. I'm going to be leaving it like this, so you can make any sleeve of your choice. So I'll just go ahead and finish that and then I'll place it on the mannequin for you to see how it is looking. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, so you can see how our gown is looking like. So it really came out beautiful. So I'm just trying to see if I, let me just turn the back for you to see how the back part is looking like. So you can see how the back part of my dress is looking like. So you see the back is equal. So for the down part, I'm going to use an overlock seam to fold the edge. I really don't like doing normal fold on my dresses. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you hit on the like button. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you.